Hello students. Hello students. Welcome to your language class. Today is 7th May and Friday, and today we are going to learn or read a story. The name of the story is The Elephant and the Mahout, and this story is from your storybook Jataka story. The Elephant and the Mahout. Do you know who is a Mahout? He who looks after the elephant and controls the elephant is known as a Mahout. Once upon a time, a silly king ruled the kingdom of Magad. Silly means a king who was not having common sense. He was extremely jealous of anyone who looked better than him, be it a man or a woman, a bird or even a beast. So he was jealous. Jealous means envious of someone's success. The king had many elephants, but his favorite was the one and only white elephant. He had all the characteristics of a great human being. He looked almost divine with a 6 inches wide halo around his body. People, people's mouths fell open in awe whenever they saw him. Awe means in surprise. Okay. The king was so proud of him that he named him Auspicious Elephant. And what do you understand by the word auspicious? Auspicious means of having good omen, means sign. Okay. On festivals, the king was supposed to ride an elephant and take a round of the city. On one such occasion, he chose to ride the white elephant. The Mahout had decorated him with colorful patterns on his body. The king was pleased to ride such a magnificent elephant. Magnificent means very attractive. Okay, he set out for his usual round of the city. Thousands of people stood on both sides of the streets to greet the king. But when they saw the brilliance of the elephant, they began to praise him and ignored the king. Ignored means to avoid. He saw the same response of the people everywhere. Some, awed by the elephant's halo, had thrown flowers and garlands on him. Others, struck by his beauty, praised him aloud. So everyone was praising the elephant, not the king. The king turned green with jealousy. He could not bear his people paying so much attention to his elephant. He was bursting with envy and anger. Envy means jealous. Okay. The poor elephant was so no rival to the king. Rival means it was not against the king. But an angry and jealous person can hardly think straight. So the jealous king, he became crooked minded. Okay. In that state of mind, he decided to kill the elephant. However, he could not order his killing because the animal had already become so popular. Popular means famous. People liked it. The king thought of a wicked plan. He asked the Mahout to cut short the city tour and return to the palace immediately. On his way back, the king planned such a strategy that the elephant's death would look like an accident. Strategy means planned. He planned. Okay? He decided to take the elephant to the top of the mountain Vepula and then manipulate an accident in the forceful waterfall. Manipulate means to influence or to just activate. When they reached the palace, the king alighted. He got off the elephant from the elephant and asked the Mahout, "So you have been looking after this elephant? Haven't you? He asked the Mahout. Yes, Your Majesty, said the Mahout, awaiting further instruction. Have you taught him any tricks? Was the next question from the king. Oh, I have taught him many tricks, the Mahout proudly replied. Well, can this elephant climb the mountain Vepula and reach the pit? Asked the king. Yes, of course, replied the Mahout. Then take him there. I want to see how with this heavy body he manages to climb the steep mountain. Steep means straight and high. Okay? The Mahout sat on the elephant and they headed towards the mountain. The king followed him with his retinue. Retinue means group of servants. In no time, Auspicious Elephant was on the top of the mountain. The king was on his fastest horse, but he could not compete with him. The Mahout was happily told the king, "Here we are." So Mahout said that we reached the top. "Very well done," said the king, and quickly added, "Don't come down. Have you taught him to stand on three legs?" This was said by the king. He was having the wicked plan in his mind. The moment the Mahout said, "Yes, I have," the elephant lifted one leg and calmly stood on the tree. "Bravo," said the king. The king praised. "Now make him stand on his two hind legs." Hind legs means back legs. "Do you think he can do that?" The elephant immediately lifted his front legs and was standing quite comfortably on the two hind legs. The Mahout proudly patted him and asked the king, "Can we come down now?" "Your Majesty," the Mahout asked permission to come down. "Not as yet. I want to watch a few more tricks." "Make him turn towards the waterfall and ask him to stand on the front legs," ordered the king. Because we know he was having his wicked plan, isn't it? The elephant now faced the waterfall and lifted his hind legs. Everyone except the king clapped for him and showered praises on the Mahout and the elephant. Others were tensed because anything could happen to the elephant. The king was enraged. His next move was rather dangerous. Okay? How about standing on one leg? The king was sure that the elephant would lose his balance and would slip into the waterfall. But this was no ordinary elephant. Like a dainty dancing girl, the elephant lifted his three legs and stood only on one with perfect balance of the body. Thus, the elephant showed its perfect balance of the body, just like a beautiful dancing girl. There were cheers all around, but the king was exasperated. Everyone was happy except the king because the king was greatly annoyed. He had tried everything, but he could not achieve his goal. And what was his goal? To kill the elephant. As the last shot, the king ordered an impossible feat. He asked the Mahout, "Have you taught him how to stand in the sky?" So this was something impossible. Now the Mahout became suspicious about the king's intention. Now suspicious means the Mahout started doubting the intention or purpose of the king. Auspicious elephant had the powers to fly and he could even stand in the sky. Because he was not ordinary elephant, he was having extraordinary skill. He was about to lift his body above the ground when the Mahout whispered in his ears, "This king is asking to perform all these tricks because he wants to kill you. He has malice and jealousy in his heart. Your life is precious. You are a very special, auspicious elephant. Let us fly away to Varanasi. The king of Varanasi is a learned and noble man. Both of us will live happily over there and serve the king." So this was said silently to the elephant by the Mahout. Then what the elephant said? "I think you are right. Let me put you on my back. The elephant picked up the Mahout with his trunk and safely placed him on his back. Then he concentrated on his positive powers. He told the Mahout, hold me tight. I'm going to take off now. Take off means to fly. Okay? The elephant with the Mahout flew up and stood in the sky facing the king of Magad. The king realized his mistake. He apologized to the elephant and asked him to come back, but it was too late. Apologize means said sorry. He just apologized for his all activities so far. The Mahout's parting words reached the king's ears. You are not worthy enough to possess such an auspicious elephant. He has extraordinary positive powers. He uses them to give happiness to others. And you have negative tendencies like jealousy, arrogance, and conceit. You always want to harm those who are better than you. What a pity you could not appreciate such a wonderful elephant who was so loyal to you. You even wanted to kill him. Please remember what I am going to tell you now. When a foolish person receives a huge inheritance, he destroys it. The same has happened to you. So these were the words said by the Mahout to the king of Magad. And they flew away. The king and the ministers were speechless. Their mouth fell open. Now the king realized his mistake. On reaching Varanasi, the elephant stood still in the sky above the palace garden. Hey, look, there is an elephant in the sky, screamed a child. The word spread like wildfire. Everyone was out in the street to see the most unusual phenomenon. Phenomenon means incident. The whole city was struck with amazement, surprise. Everyone was surprised. The moment this news reached the king, he too rushed out. He was a wise and kind king. He addressed the elephant with respect. I am indeed honored that such an auspicious elephant and his affectionate Mahout have come to Varanasi. If the purpose of your arrival is to help me with looking after my people, then please descend here in my garden. Descend means to come down in my garden. The elephant came down. He and the Mahout were greeted with warmth and honor. The king instantly recognized their noble qualities. Since the elephant was the Bodhisattva and the king had taken good care of him, his good fortune flowed in the king's life. His kingdom expanded, his riches multiplied, and he devoted his life to the happiness of his people till the last breath. So they lived happily. And the moral of the story, what we have learned from the story, he who envies others does not obtain peace of mind.